Hi, I'm Erica, and welcome to this How to Apply video. We're going to talk about your future today and how to make it happen by applying to Western. This video is all about how to prepare before you apply and how to complete your application. If you have already applied, you can find out what happens next in the After You Apply video in this YouTube playlist. If it's not already up, it will be soon. Okay. Let's get started with preparing to apply. When you're preparing to apply, it's important to review your admission requirements. They're based on country, curriculum, and your background in school. You can find all the admission requirements easily on our website at welcome.uwo.ca/requirements. I'll walk you through 2 examples today. First, let's say you're an Ontario high school student. On this page, you'll see what you're looking for to make up your final admission average. A minimum of 6 grade 12 U or M level courses, excluding co-op. One of these 6 courses must be English for you. When you scroll down the page, you'll see program-specific requirements. Some programs have required courses. It means you must take this course if you want to get an offer. You'll need to achieve a minimum of 70% in these courses. There might also be recommended courses. It is a really good idea to take a recommended course. They're recommended for a reason. Either they're going to help you be successful, or they're prerequisites for courses you'll take in the program. If you choose not to take recommended courses, you can still get an offer. If you do take recommended courses, it doesn't have to count towards your admission average. For Ontario high school students, we calculate your required courses and your next highest grades to calculate your top 6 admission average. Finally, there might be some supplemental requirements. It could be a portfolio, a form, an audition, or something else to help us get to know you. Not all programs have these, so be sure to review them carefully. Now, let's take a look at what that looks like for some of the programs. This is what you'll see for Arts and Humanities. Under required courses, there is English, and under supplemental requirements, there are extra steps that need to be completed for the School of Advanced Studies in Arts and Humanities and Visual Arts Studio. If we look at another example, this time for science, we see required courses, recommended courses, and a supplemental requirement for students interested in the Western Integrated Science program. This is why it's important to review the requirements for each program you're interested in. We know a big question you have is, what average do I need to get in? The truth is, there is no cutoff or minimum average that guarantees admission. But on the admissions page, you can find a chart that gives you an idea of what your chances are. It's based off of what was required last year. This number could change this year. They're based on how brilliant you all are this year, and if more of you are interested in the same program, that could make it more competitive. So, here's what to keep in mind. Use this as a guideline. Always work as hard as you can to get your grades up for admission and for scholarships. And if you're concerned your grades don't reflect your potential, or you are experiencing extenuating circumstances, fill out Western's Special Consideration Profile to tell us more. Now, let's take a look at another example. This time, as an international high school student. Choose International High School Student if you are studying an international curriculum, regardless of your status in Canada. The exception to that is if you are studying a Canadian curriculum. Even if you are outside Canada, you will select Canadian High School Student. When you get to the international high school requirements, you can choose to find your requirements based on the curriculum you are studying, A-levels, the IB, or at a US accredited high school. Or you can choose by country. In this example, I'm using China. After that, things look like they did for Ontario students. You'll have your requirements at the top. When you scroll down the page, you'll see program-specific requirements. Just like with the first example, you'll see required courses, recommended courses, and the supplemental requirements for all of the programs. If your first language is not English, You'll also be required to provide proof of your English language proficiency. There are several tests you can take. You can find the list on our website, along with the scores you need to get. You should write the test as early as you can. At the latest, do it before the deadline listed on the page. But we also don't take old tests. Okay, now you understand your requirements. It's time to apply. How do you do it? You will apply by going to ouac.on.ca. This is the Ontario University's Application Center. When you go to the OUAC, you'll create an applicant account. When you're ready to apply, you can choose up to 3 faculties or direct entry programs at Western. If you're not familiar with how the programs work at Western, don't worry, we're going to go through it together. At Western, we have hundreds of programs, and they each fall under a faculty. You can find a full list at welcome.uwo.ca/programs. These are the faculties and programs you will see when you apply on the OUAC website. Each one of these has a unique OUAC code. That means it's a different choice. You can apply to 1, 2, or 3 choices at Western. For example, you could apply to health sciences, medical sciences, and science. Those are 3 choices. They all have unique codes. At Western, you apply to our faculties rather than directly to the program you want to study. A faculty is a group of programs. There are a few different programs you can enter directly that are the exception to this rule. We call them direct entry programs. If you apply to a faculty, that gives you the option to study any program in that faculty. Whereas with direct entry programs, you go straight into that program. You don't apply to the major you want, just the faculty or direct entry program. Let's go over some examples. Let's say you're looking at the Faculty of Social Science, and you're thinking about psychology and sociology. These programs are both in the Faculty of Social Science. So, when you apply to Western, you apply once to the Faculty of Social Science. First year will be a common first year, and you can try both psychology and sociology. You can try out courses for a few different programs in first year, and then decide which one you want to do for your degree. You can try out courses for programs in your faculty, but also in other faculties. So let's say you're interested in psychology and sociology and social science, but also biology and science. The common first year will allow you to try out all of them. If you're interested in programs in more than one faculty, in this case, social science and science, we recommend you apply to both. For this example, science and social science sometimes have different admission requirements. You could start either one and try out programs in both. With that said, some faculties and programs are more flexible than others. If you're interested in programs in more than one faculty, you can always reach out to us, and we can recommend pathways to combine the modules you're interested in. Lastly, let's say you are also interested in computer science. Although computer science is in the Faculty of Science, it is a direct entry program. So in this example, you would apply for social science, science, and computer science. Okay, let's recap. If you're interested in more than one program in the same faculty, you only have to apply once to the faculty. If you're interested in more than one program in different faculties, you'll likely want to apply to all of the faculties and reach out to us for additional guidance and information. When you apply on the OUAC, you may also have some extra choices. For some programs, you'll need to choose if you're interested in applying for the School of Advanced Studies in Arts and Humanities, Ivy Advanced Entry Opportunity, or Scholars Electives. All of these are required supplementary applications that you will have to do separately. They are not part of the OUAC. Checking yes here is only indicating your interest and does not count as your supplementary application. In this section, you can also choose the co-op option if you're applying to engineering. This indicates your interest in a co-op. However, if you don't select yes, you can still participate in co-ops. In fact, students in any program can participate in co-ops, internships, or practicums at Western. Okay, now there are three important things to consider when you're applying. Western does not give out alternative offers. We will not make you an offer to a faculty or direct entry program you did not actually apply to. If you don't meet the requirements for a program and you only applied to that program, that's it. We won't give you an offer to a different program instead. Next, important thing to remember, on the OUAC application, you will be asked to choose a subject of major interest. This does not mean you're applying to the major. As we went over, you're applying to a faculty or direct entry program. You have a common first year before you choose a major. So, why do you have to fill this out for Western? We use the subject of major interest for planning and statistics, and also in some cases to email you information specific to that subject area. And finally, pay close attention to the campus you are applying to. At Western, we have main campus and affiliated university colleges, Huron and King's. Some programs are offered at more than one campus. When you apply, you need to double check you are applying to main campus if that's the campus you want. You can apply for the same program at more than one campus, but that counts towards your 3 program choices at Western. Okay, now that we know a bit more about applying, when should you apply? The application is open right now, so if you know what you want to apply for, you can go right ahead. You can find your deadline at welcome.uwo.ca/deadlines. It's usually around mid-January. We recommend you apply on the OUAC in the fall or early winter. That gives you time to complete anything extra that might be needed for a program you're applying to. Okay, let's recap. Before applying, review your admission requirements. You apply to Western on the OUAC website by creating an account. You can choose up to 3 faculties or direct entry programs, and you should apply by mid-January. And that's how to apply. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, you can ask an admissions officer on our online chat at westernchat.uwo.ca, or you can speak to a current student at welcome.uwo.ca/message. If you want to learn more about what it's like to be a Western student, follow us on Instagram at ChooseWestern. And remember, for what happens next, check out the After You Apply video in this playlist. Thank you for joining me today, and good luck on your journey to university.